Hello viewers, this is your weekly English news segment from Nahoo TV. This is me, Gifty McConnell, presenting this week's news to you. Please stay tuned. As we move on to our first news, President Sahle-Work Zewde said that education at the international level should be accessible to all and that joint responsibility should be taken for mutual benefit. President Sahle-Work delivered a message on the internet at the conference recommending the change in education. In her message, she emphasized that joint responsibility should be taken for mutual benefit. Ethiopia's permanent envoy to the United Nations Ambassador Taye Asqasilase has mentioned that a common agreement on framework is needed for this. He also said that when the decision-making system changes, schools will be protected as special institutions. Experts in the field, international institutes, leaders of countries, civic associations, and other stakeholders participated in the conference to advise on educational change. The meeting was attended by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Demeqe Mekonnen, Permanent Envoy of Ethiopia to the UN, Ambassador Taye Asqasilase, Minister of Education, Birhanu Negga, and spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Meles Alem. China has announced that it will pay special attention to its relations with Ethiopia. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeqe confirmed this when they met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in New York. The two ministers discussed bilateral and international issues. The Deputy Prime Minister praised the development cooperation between the two countries, especially China's contribution to development and peace in the region. They also expressed their gratitude for China's cooperation during the challenges. They also briefed them on current affairs. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi mentioned that his country pays special attention to its relationship with Ethiopia and said that it plays a major role in establishing peace and stability in the Horn of Africa. The Chinese Foreign Minister pointed out that the human rights issue is being a political tool for international forums and said that China strongly condemns any interference in this name. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, China will provide support to Ethiopia in the fields of capacity building and humanitarian assistance. In this regard, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister discussed with the Indian Foreign Minister, Subrahmanyam Jaishankar, on the sidelines of the 77th United Nations General Assembly. They expressed their appreciation for India's support to Ethiopia at a difficult time. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeqe Mekonnen and his delegation are participating in the 77th UN General Assembly. The conference started in New York. The minister, who arrived in New York before the conference, held consultations with the Foreign Minister of China and India on bilateral issues. President Sahle-Work Zewde also participated in the education conference, where she delivered a message via Zoom. Along with Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Demeqe Mekonnen, Ethiopian Ambassador to the US, Dr. Silashi Beqqele, Permanent Envoy of the Ethiopia to the United Nations, Ambassador Taye Asqasilase, Minister of Education, Professor Birhanu Negga, as well as the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Meles Alem, are participating in the conference on behalf of Ethiopia. The conference is set to focus on world problems and current affairs. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's National Security Advisor, Ambassador Redwan Hussein, criticized the report issued by the United Nations Human Rights Commission. The commission released a report on the war in northern Ethiopia. Ambassador Redwan on his Twitter said it is the result of a conspiracy to accuse and humiliate Ethiopia. Ambassador Redwan called the report confused and lacking in substance. Ethiopia's permanent envoy to Geneva, Ambassador Zennebe Kebede, said the commission did not provide any evidence of the government's use of hunger as a weapon. The report's conclusions are contradictory and biased, said Ato Zennebe. The experts shared the idea on their Twitter page that they released the report that they issued as the first findings without stepping foot in the region for investigation and that they are known to be interested in politics rather than human rights issues. Ambassador Mike Hammer, the U.S. government's special envoy to the Horn of Africa, has expressed that the U.S. will push through their diplomatic efforts to end the conflict in northern Ethiopia. In his statement, the special envoy said that America will continue to support the peace process led by the African Union. During his 10-day stay in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, he discussed the war in the northern part of Ethiopia with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeqe Mekonnen. The United States has confirmed that Ethiopian government is ready for peace talks. He added that they have been encouraging the peaceful resolution of the war in northern Ethiopia between the Ethiopian government and Tigrayan forces. The U.S. Special Envoy stated that he has spoken to the leadership of the Tigrayan region in addition to the Ethiopian authorities. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced in a statement issued that they discussed the situation of providing unlimited humanitarian aid to Tigray, Afar, and Amhara regions during the discussions with both sides. The Minister of Mines, Mr. Takkala Uma, announced that the contract with PolyGCL, which has been engaged in oil exploration in Ethiopia, has been terminated. The minister said the contract with PolyGCL was terminated after long patience and warnings. He mentioned that the contract was terminated due to limited production capacity and financial problems due to the failure of the company to develop natural gas and crude oil. He said that the ministry will do immediate work to put oil resources to work. The Chinese PolyGCL had received repeated warnings to go into production. A few months ago, the last warning letter signed by the Minister of Mines and sent to the PolyGCL company stated that 30% or $1.26 billion of the total investment capital needed to produce the natural gas found in the Somali region until June 23, 2022. The company was asked to register with the National Bank and provide assurance that the remaining investment capital was obtained through loans as stated by the company. However, as the company did not comply with the given time frame, the production license granted in 4 natural gas production sites on the Ogaden zone was revoked. It will be remembered that PolyGCL Petroleum Investment Company has officially started the extraction of crude oil in Ogaden in the year 2018 in the presence of the former head of Somalia region, Mr. Abdi Ile. The Joint Task Force of Ministers announced that the TPLF has killed 2,831 people in Amhara and Afar regions. The government announced the TPLF group killed 2,831 people and seriously injured 1,315 people during their raids in the Amhara and Afar region. 452 people were inhumanly detained by the TPLF group. Women were raped individually and in groups, and 36 people are said to be missing. The results of the investigations are prepared by the region. It is mentioned that the mass graves were found, confirming eyewitnesses and documentaries and video evidence. The Minister of State in the Persecution Department of the Ministry of Justice, who submitted the research report of the Minister's Task Force, said that it's confirmed that the inhumane acts that the TPLF has been carrying out in the areas occupied by them are coordinated and connected with the top leaders. In addition to the inhumane violence the group has inflicted on the citizens in the regions, it has been mentioned that the group has committed massive looting of property, which is also said to have been led by experts. It was pointed out that the terrorist group not only attacked women individually and in groups, but also attacked pregnant mothers. It has also been reported that the group has killed children in the horrific ways, leaving many of them in a psychological crisis. As we move on to the final news, the Minister of Innovation and Technology, Belli Mullah, discussed issues that can be worked together in various fields with Dr. Rita Bisonus, the Representative Director of UNESCO Ethiopia. In his discussions, he advised on the areas of internet governance, government electronics, digital skills, science, engineering, and mathematics. The Minister of Innovation and Technology, Belli Mullah, thanked UNESCO, Ethiopia's close partner, for its support in Ethiopia's efforts in the field of science and technology and innovation. He mentioned that the Digital Ethiopia 2025 strategy has been designed and is being worked on for its implementation. Rita Bisonus, on the other hand, stated that UNESCO is interested in supporting the International Conference on Internet Governance that Ethiopia will host this year. He stated that UNESCO will support various projects, including international internet management, which Ethiopia is organizing. The ministry's information indicates that they'll provide the necessary support in digital skills, artificial intelligence, government electronics, services, and other sectors. Thank you for watching Nahoo News Weekly. It was me, Gifty Mekonnen, presenting this week's news to you. Please stay tuned to remaining programs on Nahoo TV. Until next week, have a good time.